Hello everyone and welcome to Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dread. We are going to watch a video I have not seen yet, so we'll react to it as we go along. This is by Dreamcast Guy. Link to the original video will be down below in the description. Go by, give it a like, a comment, follow, subscribe, ridicule, pat on the back, smoke some weed with a guy. I don't know. Tell Dread sent you by. Do all those good things if you enjoy the content. Also, thank you all so much for your views here. Let's get into it. This is called Starfield is Trash, but won the Steam Awards, LOL.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here, talking today about the Steam Awards, and yes, I actually have to put quotes around that because these are a complete mess. Everybody is
Apparently.
laughing about the winners because they just make no sense. Frickin' Starfield won awards, Last of Us Part 1 Remake, Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, straight up, it's just clearly a big troll moment for the internet. But let's talk about that. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's just, before we start to dig into the very angry reactions to it, let's take
a look at Dreamcast Guy and see what he's about, by the way.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy.
So I review great games, beat bosses, and look decent doing it. I don't know. So, reviews Robocop, Rogue City, Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Assassin's Creed Mirage. Oh, he's reviewing PlayStation stuff. So according to Xbox fans, we should ignore this stuff because he's from PlayStation, right? Is that how it works? So his opinion doesn't count to any of them. Interesting, right? I don't think it's necessarily true at all, but
Dreamcast Guy here.
It's just something to keep in mind in the back of your mind while we're going through this. If there's a conspiracy where all PlayStation people are out to destroy all Xbox people and their games, then I guess we should keep that in mind, right? Because, hey, that could be a real thing. I don't know. Or it could be this guy's just got an opinion and he happens to be a person who plays on PlayStation 5. It's more likely that, but let's get into it anyway. So you've been given the caveat, you've been given the little flashing warning sign. Let's move on.
Take a look at the winners themselves. Game of the Year being Baldur's Gate, that makes perfect sense. But once you start to go past that top chart, these are pretty strange. Best Steam Deck game being Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, almost every single one of these, you can tell that people picked just to be silly. Labor of Love, Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, you know, the game that got no updates, no patches. Clearly, these are trolls. Some of these definitely deserve their spots. Best Game with Friends, Lethal Company, absolutely. But some of this stuff, most innovative gameplay is the part that everybody is discussing the most. Look, I don't like Starfield. I think the game is mediocre at best, but even if you do love the game, you cannot possibly say it's innovative. Are you freaking kidding?
I agree.
Best soundtrack, The Last of Us Part 1. Yeah, that's not at all an accurate freaking summation. But let me actually take a look at some of these reactions because everybody is just laughing about the fact that these just truly make no sense. And a lot of people are hyper focused on Starfield because it's definitely the one that people picked purely for the chaos of it. Look, man, as the resident Starfield defender, no. It's kind of sad because it looks like Starfield was probably just a troll vote. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online wins major Steam award for continuously supported by developer. It hasn't seen a single update since 2021. Yeah, so it just seems like this is silly. I do laugh about the fact that freaking Bethesda is just choosing to embrace it. Hey, thanks for all that support. We won most innovative gameplay. Oh my gosh. People saying this game is better than sleep medication. Okay, so this is actually a tweet I wanted to look at. It's a couple in a row, and I think it brings up some interesting points about why popular votes, as fun as they are, as good as they are, they can quickly go off the rails. This is why public voting for awards needs to be vetted in some way. Now, this person is definitely saying it's not that these are illegitimate or, fake. It's the fact that there does need to be some taste tester. There does need to be somebody to keep it at least slightly on the rails. I may disagree with the Game Awards 90% of the time, but having an educated board choose the winners is a better way than random gamers.
For the
So,
most part, I
yeah,
would agree.
it's always about trying to find that happy medium between big corporate event.
Or maybe you could do something where the fans vote and then you have the educated board as well. They take into consideration what the fans have voted, but they don't have to go the same way. As for instance, they might at least choose whatever the fans chose as the winner. The board might at least make sure that game is listed in the top 5, right? As at least an homage to the fans really appreciated this, but we know what they're doing. They were just joking. We'll still put it in here, but this is the actual game that won, right? Something.
And fan chosen polling, because this is just purely fake. Red Dead Redemption has not been updated in years. Starfield has to be an early April Fool's joke. I don't even need to clarify why it doesn't deserve this award. Last of Us soundtrack is great, but it's a port from 2020. All the finalists were robbed. One of my biggest issues is that games have been ported that year are eligible for pretty much every category, regardless of how old they are or what they actually are. Ports need to be treated differently.
Good point.
Second year in a row that soundtrack
Give them their
has
own category.
been sniped by a late port. Now, this is a good point. Stuff like Hi-Fi Rush, which you can actually see here as best soundtrack, all of these have better soundtracks. I like the Last of Us Part 1 soundtrack a lot, but to say it's better than Hi-Fi Rush or something like Pizza Tower, I will agree with the fact that this is just silly. This is people picking it just to be goofballs. Now, a lot of people are talking about the fact that the reason that Starfield was selected was definitely just a protest vote, to be ridiculous on purpose, because right now the game is absolutely hated. It's absolutely getting destroyed. It's now under 30% on Steam. This is one of the highest budget review failures of all time. And you know what? As a person that's played a lot of Starfield, the game definitely deserves the hate it gets.
All right, so he's a PS5 guy, but he's played a lot of Starfield. So I'm going to guess he either has an Xbox as well, or he's got a PC that he plays it on. My assumption. I don't know. We'll see.
In fact, one of my best friends, she is playing Starfield right now. For Christmas, her husband got her an Xbox. Shout out to Chelsea. She is trying to play Starfield, and she beat the main campaign, and she's doing all the Scarlet Justice. What do they even call the space cops? I'm completely forgetting. She is just growing to hate the game more and more. But even if you like the game, you can't say it's innovative. You cannot say that the game is innovative because at the very least, it's derivative. It is just another basic Bethesda project.
Like I said, this would have won, innovative game of the year for 2010. Probably would have. 2011, nah, would have got beat by Skyrim. 2012. Maybe, probably not. Yeah, 2010 would have been like the last year I think this would have won Innovative Game of the Year. All the things that seem innovative for this game, as been pointed out in the last video that I did on this stuff, are actually things other games have done for years. So they're not innovative. They're just innovative that Bethesda put them into one of their games, which they'd never done before, like Gravity and shit like that. It's nothing special, though, compared to other games and other companies. Nothing at all. There's no innovation here. Backwards innovation. What's the opposite of innovation? That's what they should have won.
With a lot of loading screens put into it. This is the main joke people keep saying. You can cry about this, but it's true. Video games suck, but 75% of Starfield is just loading screens. What a breath of fresh air. It's true innovation that only Todd Howard and his team of geniuses could craft. Do you know how much freaking time you have to ponder while playing this game? Yeah, this one is definitely the funniest. People are literally writing articles about how this is just such an obvious hijacking of the Steam Awards. Starfield won's Most Innovative Gameplay Award for 2023. I've got over 120 hours in Starfield, and never once did I feel like the game was innovative with its gameplay. Everything has been done before and done better. I enjoyed the game, but innovative? Nah. So, at the end of the day, I think Trolls stuff like this is still important. I still think that this is people trying to, in their own silly way, shine a spotlight on what they want to be better.
Yep.
Gamers really only have a couple ways to voice our dissatisfaction. Of course, there's vote with your wallet, choosing not to buy a game, talking about if you did buy it, expressing your dissatisfaction, but additionally, I do believe that loudly complaining, as goofy as that is, does still get heard. I think that
Sure, might be
really
ignored.
Bethesda
But
is getting a wake-up call that they've never experienced before.
I think they experienced it with Fallout 76, didn't they? And they kind of experienced it with Redfall. They were involved with that, although it's not entirely. But still, yeah, I gonna kind of disagree with Dreamcast guy here saying that they're hearing this and it's gonna create some kind of change. I don't think so. I don't think they're hearing it. I don't think they listen to their fans except to argue with them. So yeah, I really doubt it.
Or they're actually hearing for the first time ever, hey, it's not just that your games are glitchy, it's not just that you don't release enough stuff, it's straight up the fact that Starfield is not good enough.
And I think this is the way Bethesda wants to do games going forward. I think they want to have the most bare bones games possible, the easiest for them to put in the minimal amount of work and toss out, and hope that people buy it because it's Bethesda or whatever, and then mod it with paid mods. I think that's their plan, honestly, and I think they're touching on this with the procedurally generated planets. They want to do procedural generation. They're going to want to get AI involved in writing quests, voicing characters. So they have literally less to do than they already did. And I think that's what they want going forward. I think that's how they want to innovate the games going forward. They want to influence the rest of the gaming companies to let computers and AI and procedural generation create most of your game and have the studios actually do far, far less work, put out the game and let people do the work afterwards with paid mods. I think that's what they want to do. They want to change the industry into that because I think Bethesda is just very, very lazy. I think they're very, very lazy. I think they've shown that over their entire career. They don't put things into the games that need to be there, and they don't care to. I think they're all sitting around smoking so much pot they can't even focus or do the shit they're supposed to do. I don't know any other way to explain it, but that's honestly what I think is happening with Bethesda.
This is not a title that deserves the Bethesda logo. The branding just doesn't fit the product. I think that Starfield is an interesting spot because I do 1,000% believe it's going to get the cyberpunk treatment. I think in a year or two, maybe 3 years, this is going to be fantastic. Starfield is going to get the No Man's Sky complete rebuild that makes it actually fun. Less load screens, more customization, space combat actually meaningful. Or
Nope.
maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can actually land directly on planets without 5 loading screens.
Not happening, buddy.
Boring fast travel.
Not happening.
But until that happens, to claim this game is good, to claim this game is innovative, is just flat out provably untrue.
That's true.
But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, gamers. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below.
So let me know your thoughts down below on what you think. Is Bethesda going to actually go through with their plans and turn around this game in a couple of years by continuing to push out amazing updates and bug fixes and patches and change the core gameplay, of basically rewrite the fucking game from the ground up in order to actually change the way the game is played so that it actually is a good game? Because in order to actually change this game, they would have to rewrite it from the core right on up and actually do the work that they didn't do the first time. The work they've never gone back and fixed a game with ever before. Ever. Do you actually think right now, after making heaps of money off this fucking game, and by the way, you out there who bought the game, shame, shame, because you're contributing to this mess now. I just want to point that out. Stop buying games before they come out. Let the game come out. See what the game's about and how people are reacting to it for a while. Watch some gameplay, figure out if you want to play it or not, and then buy it. Do you actually think this is what's going to happen? Remember, Bethesda's never done this before. They've never been an innovative company. They've never been a company that fixes anything. They've been a lazy fucking mess of a company for their entire history. Do you actually think they're going to work hard for several years, rewrite this from the ground up, and change this game to the point where it's going to be a masterpiece? Because if you think that, I've got a bridge to sell you. For Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dread. Ta-ta.